What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today, not a pack opening, not a discussion, a different type of video. We talked about speed the other day. It got me thinking about, what would the future speed will be like, and that got me thinking probably the next would be the 5Ds era, with Yusei in them, and that got me thinking, what would a Yusei speed duel deck look like? So I compiled this little deck list here to, this is what I think it could go with. I didn't exactly, I don't know how they would do it with synchros. I don't know if these, certain parts would be too powerful. I went for more like just the overall staples of, Yusei's deck, and, did some synchros in regards to that. I did not add any outside cards really, just because, that's not the theme here. I think it's more important to me that we stick to the theme of Yusei, as opposed to, building the most competitive Yusei style deck possible. So, yeah, we have our classics right here. We have Jun Seitron. He is great. Ultimate classic combo here. Got Jun Seitron and Speed Warrior, the ultimate, turn one play for Yusei. You'll love to see it. And then we also got some other monster staples. We got, Quillbolt Hedgehog. We have Fortress Warrior. I threw in Nitro Synchron here just because, Nitro Warrior seemed like, like the next, aside from Starter Strategy and Jun Warrior, he seemed like the next stable synchro monster of Yusei's, really. So I decided to go with him, and this started pretty freaking good. So I threw Starter Strategy in here. I'm realizing Starter Strategy was not that great. I don't think I think if this deck was actually made, Stardust would probably be the last synchro monster you really want to play in less circumstances. I also threw Junt Archer in there just because I was looking at all the synchros that he used. Junt Archer seemed to make the most sense, and it wasn't a board wipe like some of the other ones would be. I also threw in Junt Gardner, just, for a little variety, and the classic Junt Warrior. Getting back to the actual monsters at hand, yeah, I threw in Synchron Explorer, that way, you can get back, let's say, we use our Junt Synchron to summon Junt Warrior, we can bring that out, and now we can get out, Junt Archer or something like that. Same thing with Sonic Chit. Sonic Chit is, just good, she'll stick around, basically. A lot of these cards are just meant to kind of stick around to get you out your synchros. I also threw in, Salvage Warrior. I think it's, great card, special summon, gets our tuners back to our hands. Turret Warrior, I think, is just kind of a, fun fallback option. Again, it's kind of a staple of, Yusei. Quick Draw Synchron, overall, I think it's a solid card. It allows us to summon any of our synchros, well, aside from Stardust Dragon, so we don't need to worry about our, Junt Warrior or, not Junt Warrior, Junt Synchron or Nitro Synchron as much. I also threw in Shield Warrior just for the nostalgia. So, yeah. It's also a good card, monsters I control cannot be destroyed by battle. That's just great. Keeps, again, Yusei has a lot of smaller monsters, but they have protection, and it lets him get into his bigger monsters, which I think is pretty cool. I also threw in Double Summon. I don't know if they would actually, allow this in Speed Duel, because that seems kind of busted, but for what we have available, it is one of the best cards that he has for this format. I also threw in Tuning. Good search card right there. Nothing wrong with that, since it does technically mill us out. What could you imagine if you ditch, could you imagine if you just ditched, I don't know, Junt Warrior, not Junt Seitron as a result of that? That'd be kind of crazy. But, Double Cyclone, just overall, I think it's a solid card. Quick play, just get double removal. So, I mean, there weren't a whole lot of spell options for him, so decided to go with this one. It just seemed to be the best fit. For the traps now, some pretty solid traps. Obviously, the most bit staple would be Scap Iron Scarecrow. So it is just repeat, you know, like stop and attack each turn. We also have our Reinforced Truth. You can special summon level 2 or lower monster from your deck by changing up my battle phase. So this is more of a last resort style. Power Frame. Monsters target face up. Target that target negate the attack. So again, keeping our monsters alive. And then it equips to the monster. The equipped monster gains attack equal to the difference its attack and the attack of the attacker when this charge resolves. So, for instance, you know, let's say my Junk Warrior is attacked by a Red Dragon Archfiend. It's 600 more attack points right there. Pretty crazy. So then what else do we have here? Card of Sacrifice, draw 2 cards. If the combined attack of all your face-up attacks from monsters, minimum 2, is less than attack of your opponent's face-up monster, you cannot summon or change battle positions the turn you activate this card. So this is kind of a last resort option. I think this would be pretty solid for Speed Duel. And, you know, I have no issues with it. You get card draw, but it is a penalty. So I think it's overall fine. And Graceful Revival. Activate this card by targeting one level 2 or lower monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in attack position. When it leaves the field, destroy that monster. So it's, you know, it's Call of the Haunted almost. It's just a slightly weaker Call of the Haunted. Which I think is fine, especially because we're just trying to get back, you know, all our big boys. All our Synchrons. We're trying to, you know, Synchro summon into our good monsters here. Now, when it comes to skill cards, I do not know 100% how they would go. I could easily see like a junk boost card where it would be something along the lines of, you know, boost all any monster that has junk in it or requires junk Synchron gets an additional like 300 point boost. I could honestly see tuning as a, you know, skill card overall. I could, you know, add one monster once per, you know, whatever you can special summon, or, you know, or I could, you know, just, you know, special summon a tuna monster, you know, and it won't hurt you. I could, you know, if we want to go more Stardust Dragon based, what if we don't have to have Stardust yet, you know, removed from play temporarily? What if I just negate the activation without tributing Stardust? That could be a skill card right there. Or what if there was like a level remover type of skill card where you can just essentially, you know, on the fly, like once per turn or once per duel, or, you know, once per main phase, you know, you can change the level of any one monster. Overall, honestly, I think this would be a pretty fun deck. That should be solid, you know, trying to relive the, you know, 5Ds era. Depending on how I feel, I might do some, you know, deck ideas for Jack Atlas and, you know, Leo and anyone else I feel like. So, Black Rose. So yeah, overall, I appreciate your time, and have a good one. Peace.